What's going on, everybody? Today is Wednesday, October 9th, episode 6 of Picks and Parlays. We've got a two-man show. We ended last week with this, and I guess it was just a warm-up for this because it's a two-man show today. Eric's trying to survive another hurricane, and I think Mags is like, what did he say? He's like baking a loaf of bread or some shit like that.
I don't even remember. I don't even remember what he said he was doing.
He said, "Yeah, I used up all my goodwill with my girlfriend. And he's like, if I want to watch the Yankees on Thursday, I have to bake bread on Wednesday." So that's how we got here. That's the priority. But to set the stage right now, so it is just about 8 p.m. Eastern time. So we thought maybe it would be good to watch this is just our normal time to record anyway, but thought it might be good to catch some reaction for the Phillies. It was 1-0. We were like talking about like, all right, time to send the link, like let's get going. And like Francisco Lindor just hit a grand slam, and it's over. I want to save the like Phillies moratorium just because like I guess it's not over yet. Like Harper and Castellanos are about to hit this inning, so we'll see. But so just so you know, I might sneak in a motherfuck here and there, but yeah, I'm putting on a brave face, but I'm sad.
Yeah, that's tough. I was also like, yeah, like you said, we were getting ready to come on, and I'm watching the Phillies game, and fucking what's his name, Estevez comes in and just throws the most center cut fastball where Lindor can just extend the arms and fucking. It was just, I mean, it was right down the fucking middle, and I was like, oh, this is great.
The other thing, now I'm getting into it. Fuck. All I'll say is that was ridiculous for Hoffman to even be in the game for as long as he was. I don't think he should have even started the inning because we have an off day tomorrow. We have the whole pen, and he's already said Christopher Sanchez is available. Like he got out of a jam the inning before that. He threw like 10 pitches or 11 pitches to get out of the jam. It's just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
All right. But anyway, to shift gears really quick. It was a pretty insane week of sports. The college football slate looked so shitty, and then we just had so many major upsets because a lot of those top teams lost. The NFL had some surprising results if you specifically are me. I think it seemed like everybody else nailed it. This was a run-of-the-mill week. Not for myself. That's maybe the I don't want to, try to imitate anybody else here. We're paving our own way, but I am like part of my take Max right now. I'm just the biggest fucking loser. I was talking about how much of a loser I am last week. Guess what? The worst week anyone's had so far. I went 4-10 on my picks this week.
Oh no.
It's just so terrible. And to recap that, Eric and Mags both went 9-5. You were 7-7, and like I said, 4-10.
Oh.
Eric is now in the lead, 56.4%. You were at 55.8%. Mags snuck back over the median, 50.6, and I'm at 41.6%. That's
Jesus.
a really bad number.
That's tough.
A really bad number.
Not the best number. My last 2 weeks have not been good. I think I was under 500 2 weeks ago, and then this week I actually thought I was worse than I'm thinking in real life I was worse than 7-7. I think I was down pretty good. Yeah, it was not great. Can't hit a parlay to save my life. I've lost all the money on parlays this year. I got to stop, but I can't. I can't stop.
Yeah, because you can't, it's about to be the upswing. Like I put a certain amount in the account at the beginning of the season, and it's getting low. And I'm like, if I knock the unit down, this will be the get right week, and I'm not gonna get back to where I've been supposed to be.
Yep. I fucked myself. I always do this. I'll hit a big one, and instead of just acting like that money isn't there, I just start throwing shit everywhere, and now I'm right back to where I was before. Like
Yeah.
that one just didn't. I just lost all of it because I just start throwing shit everywhere. I'm like, oh, I got fucking free money right here, and now it's gone, and I'm back where I was before.
Yeah, that was the good thing about, well, good and bad about when we went to Florida, was you can only use the Hard Rock app. So we were betting on there. We hit a really big parlay, and we were all just up like a lot. And I did get a little liberal with it, but I was like, I could lose everything, and like I'll still be up for the week. So like whatever. What I really should have done was just pulled it right, pulled it right out, because there was just like a Thursday night game, and then that's all that was like left. And or sorry, it was
Yep.
just like the college slate on Sun or Saturday, because we won on Thursday night. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And we
the
got fucking smoked on Saturday.
yeah, it was bad bankroll management by me for sure. But what the fuck else is new? Um, did
Sorry, I thought Aaron Judge just hit a home run, but I forgot it's the postseason, so it was just a fly out. Um,
he
Sorry,
fucking
Mags.
sucks?
Let me. Dude, did you see the stat I sent the other day? In like his last 20 postseason games, he's hitting 144
Yeah, and like over a
or some
hundred
shit with like a
plate appearances.
560 OPS.
Oh, here we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Alec Boehm is now showed up finally with the season fucking. What is happening right
Oh
now?
my God.
Oh, that was foul? I gotta lock in for the
Oh
replay
no.
here. He's having a he's having a rough go. That's so fair. What? Can we challenge that?
I don't have it up right now. I didn't.
Oh my god, it goes right over the bag.
Oh, the ump just fucking blew it.
Wait. They ruled it foul. Wait, so okay, I pride myself on being a big rules knower in baseball. But okay, if a
Yeah.
ball if a ball bounces, I know obviously like on a line drive, it can be fair all the way, and if its first bounce is foul, then it's or sorry, anything past the bag, then if its first bounce is foul, it's foul. But
Uh-huh.
oh my god, if there's a on a ground ball, if it bounces in front of the base, it just has to pass over the base.
Yeah, it just has to go over the bag. No, it doesn't have to. It just
That's
has to go over
a
the bag.
that's a crazy missed call. You've gotta see this. I need to find. There's not going to be a way for you to see this while we're on here. Still, it went
No.
over the direct center of the base. It was
Jesus
so. It
Christ.
was
You can't
so
miss that.
fair.
The
Oh my
Yanks
god.
just took the lead. Fucking Stanton's slow ass. Um, Fuck. Where are we at? Football. Football, yeah,
Yeah,
football.
it's football time. It's football. It's football time. Um,
Um, this what stood out? I'm trying to think about. Oh, the Niners. What's going on with them? That was
I
bad. I had the over in that game. They fucked me fumbling the ball. What's his fucking name? The running back. Mason. With that fumble, they were going in to score to hit the over, and he just fucking coughed it up.
they've been really disappointing. I'm
Yeah,
just looking at the whole. Yeah,
they haven't been very good this year. That's a bad loss to the Cardinals. Who else? They
yeah.
got beat pretty good by the Vikings. I don't know if they've fucking covered a spread as a favorite. They've been favored every week. They just don't cover ever, even when they win.
They're 2-3. I think they've been a touchdown or more favorites like 4 times.
Yeah, yeah, like every time. I think I looked at, they're like 3.5 point favorites this week. I forget who they play, so I just saw they were favored again.
I have it. It's a division matchup though. I was gonna say now that I'm looking at the slate from last week.
Oh, the Seahawks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I I was So obviously I've been shit. And so I tried to employ this strategy where I saw if you have like team A covered last week, team B did not cover last week. If they play each other, team B covers their head to head matchup. It's like 60% or like more of the time. And this week was absolutely littered with those. Like I know Jets Vikings was like that. I think Falcons Bucks was like that. Um, without just going through like I know Browns
Cowboys
Commanders was that.
Steelers, maybe.
Yeah, like I saw Commanders Browns Browns +3 at Commanders. I racked my brain. I could not come up with a possible way for the Browns to cover that, but I stayed true to the stat and I just fucking bet the Browns. I did that with I went like 1-6 on those picks. And I got bailed
Oh
out
my
too
God.
on our picks because the Jags were -2.5. In real life, I got them at 3, and I pushed. I bet on a, I bet on a win, an 0-4 team, and they won by 3, and I didn't even win money. That's fucked. That's so fucked. That's what's happening to me right now. That's crazy.
That is fucking crazy. I I bet on the Colts last week. That was really fucking stupid, and I knew it the whole time. I was like, this line
Mm,
stinks. Should be Jags. But I've been betting on the Jags and losing money. So I should have. That was the get right week, get right Jags game for me,
mm.
and I skipped it because I was like, they fucking suck. That was dumb. I knew the whole time. I was like, Colts, this fucking stinks. They're not gonna win this game, and I still bet it, and then I fucking lost because I'm a goddamn idiot.
That's
But a lot of
biggest.
that this week.
Yeah, that's my biggest problem is I try to find the get right game because I'm like, oh, like the Vikings are a perfect example of this. Like that stat went in favor of the Jets. The Jets did have a chance to win that game at the end of the game, but like going with
Yeah.
that stat, I've kind of been against the Vikings. I think that they're a good team, but it's just every week, whatever the number is, I always find a reason not to bet them. But so I'm waiting. I'm just
Yeah.
betting against the Vikings, waiting for that like come back down to earth game. And I've been doing that on so many teams. And it's like I know as soon as I switch to them, hey, you're a fucking square. They come back down to earth. I don't want to fucking do that.
Yep.
So I'm just
Yep.
I'm riding and dying on this. But um
That loss is coming. It's coming.
there's a lot, but I'm like I'm getting killed by the same like 6 or 7 teams. Like I just there's a few really bad
Yeah.
teams that I won't give up on, and there's a few good teams that I have yet to jump on the train for. And it's just there. It's an automatic like 5 losses every week between those teams.
So I said a few weeks ago, I remember, I said I thought the Vikings weren't actually good. I think it was after week 2. I feel differently. I think they're good now. They've
Mm,
changed my mind. They've won enough games. I think they're good. The Saints, not wrong about that, I don't think.
yeah,
I don't
but
think they're actually good. I said they weren't good, so I don't know.
that was like my first take I ever had on the
Spencer
show.
Rattler.
Was that yeah, that's crazy. That was like the first take I ever had on the show was that the Saints aren't that fucking good. And guess who fucking bet on the Saints last week? Me. After I've still been motherfucking them behind the scenes, I'm like, the Saints suck. But then I'm like, oh yeah, it's
Yep.
Chiefs don't cover 5.5, and fucking nope, right back in the shitter, fucking Saints. It is like you're just not gonna have a 30-plus-year-old running back run for like 170 yards every week. I found that out this week.
No. No. And I bet the Saints too because the Chiefs they just don't cover 5.5 point spread. They just
Mm-hmm.
never cover them. But this fucking week they did, so fuck me, I guess. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Last thing before we get into picks for this week. The Phillies have 6, 7, 8 coming up this inning. The Phillies 6 through 9 hitters are 5 for 52 in this series. Isn't that insane? And all right, we're
You
moving
could
on.
have put the Buccos 6 through 8 hitters in there, and it would have been
Yeah,
about the same.
there's a lot of money committed in different places too. Like it's gonna be the same team next year. Aside from we're missing like two guys in the bullpen, and
Yeah.
it's the same team. Other than that, all right. Well, Edwin Diaz coming in to not give up 3 runs before he gets 3 outs. But this week in the NFL, our first game, we alluded to it before. 49ers -3.5 at the Seahawks, over under 48.5. My biggest Twitter rivalry so far on our account is with a Seahawks / Mets fan. And I was happy that although I bet the Seahawks last week, they got trounced by the Giants, and so that was a nice thing I got to throw back in the face. But on this game, you can go first because I have no fucking idea what I'm going to pick yet.
Oh man. Yeah, I've been betting the Seahawks a good bit this year. I did not bet them this week. Um I that was bad. They looked bad. They couldn't stop they couldn't really stop the Giants. The Giants offense without their best player.
Mm-hmm.
They made fucking Danny Dimes look like he actually deserves that nickname. That's fucking like he torched him. He torched him, and what the fuck, whoever the fuck that running back is that
Oh, dude, he's on
someone
my
fucking
dynasty
bullshit
team.
started against me in fantasy. Yeah, someone started him against me out of nowhere in fantasy last week and I got fucking killed. Um yeah, they just did kind of whatever they wanted. The Seahawks looked bad. The Niners also fucking look like shit. The Cardinals aren't a very good team. I get this is a division game too, but god damn, they can't, like, they had a lead late, and that's usually like Niners down your throat, pick up the first downs, go down the field, game over. I think their kicker, didn't Moody get hurt or
Yep.
something? They had to go for a fourth down and field goal range, like sometime in the fourth quarter that they didn't get. But still, man, they just like I don't know. I don't know what I think about either one of these teams. They were both like shockingly bad last week for me. So it makes me want to take the Seahawks and the points and just say fuck it. I don't know, but where's this game at? Who the
It's
Seahawks
at
home?
at the Seahawks on Thursday night.
Oh fuck. God damn, man. I guess for now I'll go Seahawks and the points at home Thursday night. Keep it close. I don't think they're gonna play as bad as they played last week. But the Niners fucking might not also. But I don't know. I think they can keep it to 3.5. Keep it
Yeah.
within a field goal at home. That's a tough place to play.
My thing is that I've been psyching myself out so much, and I think a big thing for me that I used to do was anything within like 3 or 4 points. I know that is considerable. Like that's a field goal or more. JT just got walked to lead off the ninth. I don't know. That is a big number, but
Oh, here we go.
some of the best that I've ever been at gambling was when I just ignore those numbers and I'm like, okay, it's a 3 or 4 point spread. I'm just gonna pick who I think is the better team. And for me, this should be a get right spot for both teams. I do agree with you there. Like that's why it's such a head scratcher. But for me, like the Niners, I know they are like they're big start slow guys under Shanahan. I think like in their first what is it, their first 8 games, they're like under 500 in his tenure, despite always being a deep playoff run kind of team.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just gonna say they have to get right more than the Seahawks have to get right. Like the Seahawks are a team that could kind of just like scrap around in the mud, get like the 6 seed or whatever, go like they'll be 9-7 in a win and get in kind of game in the last week of the season, and like they can still get
Yeah.
there if they drop to 3-3. I just I don't know if that's good logic or not, but by that logic, yeah, I'll just take the Niners. I'm also done doing the Thursday night unders because I can't fucking bet totals. I said that before, and I was like, hey, how about the one bet I'll commit to every week is a total? Dumbass.
I was gonna say that's I feel like that's a high total for a Thursday night game, but both these defenses, like the Niners defense hasn't been good. And the Seahawks like I was just talking about it, they kind of got diced up by Daniel Jones. So fuck, man, I'm all over the place. I don't like anything in this game. I think the number's pretty good. Like it's about where I would guess it's gonna be. Um, I guess who's gonna get righter? It's a get righter game.
For me.
Yeah, they have so much more talent, I think too. That's hard to look at the Niners roster and pick against them.
Also, the Edwin Diaz just walked the first two batters of the ninth. That's when I freaked out when you were talking because Bryson Stott was 3-0. They threw a definite ball high, and they called it a strike. And then he threw one in almost the exact same spot, and they called it a ball. Oh my god! So now Cody Clemens pinch hit opportunity. All right, I'm gonna keep in. We're gonna keep rolling with
Who
picks,
the fuck is he hitting for?
Weston Wilson. They're
Christ.
they're like
hit a homer against the Pirates.
Yeah, it's essentially like he was going to start because it's a lefty. Once there was a righty, it was going to be Clemens, and then Rojas would just go in on defense for him because that's an outfield spot. But anyway, second game, Commanders plus 6.5 at the Ravens. 44.5 is the number. I'll go first on this one. I know these are two like red hot teams. Cody Clemens just took a fastball right down the middle. Oh my god. Yeah, two red hot teams. I take every opportunity I can to hate on the Ravens. And the Commanders are a team that I've needed to get on the bandwagon with for a while now. The one thing that does scare me about if I bet on the Commanders is they do have a bad defense. I think they've been playing some dysfunctional offenses, but they've still been giving up decent amounts of points. But I think people maybe think the defense is a little fixed, and I think it definitely is not. So I am a little scared that Derrick Henry will just run right down their throats, and Lamar as well. But I don't think the Ravens defense is that good, and Jaden Daniels has been very good, and I'm gonna try to stop being dumb. Commanders are a really good team. Getting 6.5, I know it's on the road, but I'll go Commanders this week.
Yeah, that's a lot of points there. That's 6.5. So what I did get on the Commanders, I feel like early, and I wasn't always betting specifically on the Commanders, but I was taking some of their overs too because their offense is, offense good, defense bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna stick with that here and take the over 44.5. The thing that scares me about that a little bit is the Ravens when they get into if the Commanders just can't stop them and they just run it down their throats and have 40 minutes of possession time and score fucking 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
That scares me a little bit, but I think the line fucking Verdugo just popped up. That was a horrible bunt. But the line scares me a little bit because I would have assumed it was maybe down at 4.5 or something like that. The 6.5 makes me feel a little weird, so I'm going to go with the over 44.5. In this one, I think both offenses are going to be able to score. I think.
All right, so the Phillies are down to their last out. The tying run is at the plate, and it's Kyle Schwarber. If there's one guy to hit a home run, the only thing is that if he just gets on, I don't like the idea of Trey Turner being up against a righty who throws sliders, because that's just not. Although Kyle
Yeah.
Schwarber, career against Edwin Diaz, 0 for 9 with 7 Ks, so maybe this is about to end. um, I
Jesus
might
Christ. He's due.
we might need to pause picks here to lock in on this one for a quick second.
That's fine.
Oh, he crushed it, foul. He just hit it to the third deck, foul.
Oh no.
It was like pulled way too hard
Jesus
for it to ever
Christ.
be relevant, but it was crushed. Oh my god. 1-2. Fuck. He struck out. Oh. One fucking pitch. Well, let's keep going. We can talk about it at the end. I'm gonna have you go first for Bucks. It's like so.
Oh man.
That is
I
the show must go on, right?
my team hasn't fucking been in the playoffs since I was still in high school, so I don't know what that feels like, but I can't imagine it's great.
No,
Fucking
it's
goddamn.
I don't know what feels worse, this or last year, because last year it was like I think in both scenarios you're a much better team on paper, and like last year you were a game away from the World Series twice, so that hurts. But this one is like
At
the
home.
division rival that you've had bragging rights on for a few years now, and to fucking we just it's the
Yeah.
exact same thing as what we did to the Braves twice.
Yep. And I feel like they kind of lost the same way they lost last year, where they just stopped hitting.
Yeah,
Just like
and they do that.
nothing from the lineup. Yeah.
Yep, they do that. All right,
Yep.
yeah, well, we'll talk about it at the end, because we'll do all baseball at the end, but I could talk about it forever, so I'll just do it where I like give myself a shot clock.
Oh,
Uh,
Soto might have. Oh my God, that looked like it was going 490 feet off his bat, but it was a sac fly. The Yankees had the bases loaded with one out.
yeah, I'm gonna put that one
And
on the other screen here,
yeah, so Judge is up. Judge is about to come up 2 on 2 outs. But
and I will
anyway, what do we
happily
got?
mute
Bucks
Bob
and
Costas
fucking.
here.
Oh, he sucks. He's the worst. He's the worst.
It is crazy,
He's
like
so bad.
that clip that's going around of him where Stanton grounded into a double play, and it was like Bobby Witt just made like a crazy play, like a guy that baseball should be trying to get behind, like really young star, and he was so upset that or like didn't care. Like I don't know what to say
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. He's calling like these high energy playoff baseball games like it's the Masters.
Yeah.
Like the
Yep.
high energy, high intensity, the crowd's fucking hanging on every pitch, and he's like calling it like it's the second shot on Saturday at Augusta. Like
Yeah.
I
I
don't fucking.
I have not liked the Fox crew
Oh,
for
Aaron Judge.
I've not liked the Fox crew for the Philly series, but at least like in the big moments they talk louder. Like I don't know. That's like I feel like
Yeah,
rule number one
yeah,
is like if somebody hits a double down the line in a playoff game, you gotta make it sound like it's a double down the line in a playoff game.
yeah. You either have to like talk louder, which I like, or you just like let the like you say what happened and then let the crowd fucking do the work. And Costas doesn't do either of those things. He just kind of
Yeah.
mumble like
Mumbles
monotone through
over
the
the
whole fucking
100
game.
decibel crowd.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Oh
terrible.
my
Oh,
god.
Judge just flew out again. He fucking sucks.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's keep going. Bucks minus 3.5 at the Saints. Over under 41.5. Like you said, Spencer Rattler just got announced to be the starter like right before we started. So I think this line might change. It might go more towards the Bucks. But also, I think they made the
Yeah.
line knowing that, like, they probably made the line thinking it was Hayner. I think people already knew that Carr was going to be out.
It feels super chalky, but I'm just gonna go with the Bucks here. Like, they've been good. The Saints, like even with Derek Carr, haven't looked great the last few weeks. It scares me kind of how chalky this pick is. That's like the only thing that does scare me, but I'm not gonna put I didn't put my money on Spencer Rattler when he was in college. I'm not gonna put it on him in the NFL. It's a sleep at night bet. You don't bet on Spencer Rattler, whatever. I'll fucking Baker's been awesome. Um, the Browns, I just love that Baker's awesome somewhere else. It makes me so happy because I loved him in college, and then he got like the Browns drafted him, and I was like, well, now I gotta fucking hate him. It's kind of worked out great for me because he just sucked there, and then he's been good since he left,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. But I'm just gonna not think about this game at all. Take the Bucks. I'll see it if it pops up on Red Zone, and that's it.
Yeah. This was one that Carr getting hurt either just saved me money or lost me money because a divisional game, Saints are at home, 3.5, like feels like if the Bucks win, they're all of a sudden starting to pull away in the South. If the Saints win, it's kind of like them and the Falcons are all on a similar playing field. And I feel like that second scenario is just how it feels like the NFC South should go, is those three teams just in the battle of mid. Um, that said, it's kind of along the same lines as what you were saying. The Saints are a team that I've been anti the whole year, and like especially these last few weeks, they're kind of proving me right. Even though I did bet on them to cover a spread last week, I think the Bucks are actually a good team, and the other thing too with the Bucks is that like yeah, who was their kind of embarrassing loss to? I can't remember now.
Oh, the Broncos. The
Yeah,
Broncos, they kind of got killed.
yeah. I think that definitely is a game that they'd like to win, but the Broncos aren't as bad as people thought. And I feel like the Bucks are a big like beat up on bad teams. Like I forget they crushed what the Panthers was it week 1 or I don't even remember. Or no, the Commanders they killed in week 1.
Uh,
I
yeah,
think right.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of going along the same lines as
They've beat
you.
the Commanders at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was week 1. So yeah, I'll just go with the Bucks. I want to be able to sleep at night as well. So Bucks minus 3.5. Up next,
Yep.
Lions -3 at the Cowboys. Over under 52.5. I'll go first for this one because I feel very strongly about this. The Cowboys just covered against the Steelers. It's one of those. I think the Cowboys this year are a middle of the road team that they kind of, as soon as you think they're good, they'll disappoint you. As soon as you think they're bad, they'll play a little good. So I think that them awful win against a team who is, I think, definitively better than them. Yeah, it's on the road, but like I take the Lions over the Cowboys every day, and the Lions are off a bye, and the Cowboys have some injuries. The Lions are like an out physical you kind of team. Um, Part of the issue for the Steelers last week against the Cowboys was our line is so banged up, and even their hurt ass defense was like really generating pressure. The Lions' offensive line is fucking for real, and I don't really see that happening. And I feel that I might put this game on boat race. Watch. I think it could happen. But yeah, I feel really strongly about Lions -3. Might be my dick pick this week.
Yeah, that's I like it as well. I think the Cowboys off that fucking win that had me wanting to swallow a shotgun at 1 in the morning because it got delayed so goddamn long and I stayed up to Watch them shove it up my ass with fucking 12 seconds left or whatever the fuck it was. So I'm gonna take the Lions. I'm also gonna hate bet the Cowboys because I'm still pissed about that game. We played fucking terrible. But yeah, I think the Lions are just the better team. I don't think the Cowboys are like all that great. And I don't this also may have been a weird thing. Oh, Volpe just threw it to the stands. Also
You're like
like
2 pitches ahead of
CD
me.
Lamb has been yeah, CD Lamb has been like going off in the first half of the last few games and then just fucking nothing in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with all their injuries and kind of their lack of running game, even though they ran it up our asses and we played like complete fucking dog shit, um, they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna beat the Lions if they don't get CD the ball the entire fucking game, and they
Mm-hmm.
just haven't been doing that. So I'm gonna take the Lions -3. I think it's the better team. Whatever. I think they win by a touchdown.
Yeah, speaking of that, when they played the Giants when we were in Florida, there was a boost on Hard Rock for CeeDee Lamb 100 plus yards, need 94 receiving yards in the first half,
Yep.
and it didn't hit. And that is the perfect
Yeah,
encapsulation of what you're talking
that's
about.
the one I was thinking
All
of
right.
too. Yep.
Yep. All right. Last game that we're going to talk about of the week. Bills. This line might have moved too because I got these lines like a day ago, and Robert Salah has been fired. But as of right now, Bills -2.5 at the Jets, over under 40.5. This is Monday Night Football. I think their DC is the interim coach. He looks like an interim coach. I feel like interim coaches, you can't really have an OC as an interim coach. It's got to be like an older defensive minded guy or just like a Bisaccia, like special teams. Like this guy knows the
Yes.
organization. Kind
Special
of,
teams coach.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, so the thing I'm wrestling with is interim coach game is a thing in betting. So it's that against the Bills, who are in a bit of a skid. I mean, -2.5 feels like a number that they should so easily cover. Like they were in that game with the Texans and they kind of like choked it away, or not choked it away, but they just were so shit for stretches in that game, and they were amazing for others. Like it feels like a big get right game, but it's going up against the interim coach mojo, and I think I'm still gonna go with the Bills. But like with the change in coaching staff on the Jets, I'm really scared to even touch the total. And it's one that it's a small enough number. I think the Bills are like a way better team, and I'm gonna try not to overthink it. I'm just gonna pick the Bills.
Yeah, that was head scratching what the Bills did at the end of that last at the game the last week. That made no fucking sense. They just like chucked up a few deep balls and fucking punted it right into field goal range. Like I
Yeah,
don't
from their
that
own
made
fucking goal line.
no fucking sense. Yeah, they were gonna have to go like 70 fucking yards. That didn't make any sense to me. Um yeah, they just pissed that one away. But yeah, this whole game doesn't 2.5 feels like Bills all day,
Mm.
which makes me think it's Jets all day, actually.
I'm gonna look it up right now and see if there's
It's
any
just
updated line.
fucking yeah. I'd take oh fuck. Who the fuck was that? Kyle Isbell. Adam Frazier, former Bucco, scoring a run in the playoffs. Yeah, this game, I'm all over the place. I like the under. Would you say it was 40.5? I know it's low. I kind of like the under, but I also kind of like the over. I like everything but the Jets +2.5. So I might just have to go with Jets +2.5, subject to
Yeah.
change.
So
Um,
the the
that's a gross line.
the numbers are the same actually, even though Salah got fired. 40.5 is the over under. The interesting thing is Bills -2.5 if you bet on that, it's minus 142, and the Jets plus 2.5 is plus 120.
Oh my God.
So there's a couple of those that I'm like the Lions minus 3 is minus 174. Just move it to 3.5. What the fuck?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't take it with that juice. There's no juice there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take it at that. I'd just move it to 3. Um, you know what? I think I'm gonna go with. I said I like the under, but I think I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers didn't like the coach. He's gonna let it go. They can score fucking 17 points. The Bills can score 24 over 40.5.
There you
That's
go.
it. The 2.5 doesn't make sense. The 2.5 doesn't make sense to me. It scares me.
You can kind of explain because they're on the road, but still, like, that should at least be like 4 for me based
Yeah.
on what the Jets have been, and even though the Bills have struggled, like it's against, what was it, the Ravens and the Texans they played the last 2 weeks. Like,
Yeah. Yep.
all right, a little college football. I just have a list of a couple of results that I want to run down really quick. So we had Bama lose to Vandy as the number 1 team in the country. Tennessee lost to Arkansas. They were number 4, I think. USC was like 11-ish, I think. They lost to Minnesota. Michigan, they were in the 20s. They lose to Washington. Missouri, as number 9, got fucking ran by A&M. And Miami got another little, like, hang on at the end win. Ooh. Oh. And Juan Soto did not get
Yep.
up and run for the ball anymore.
Yeah. No, he did not. He did not. I think I'm like 10 seconds ahead of you.
Yeah. I
But
saw
yeah.
you I saw you react. I was like, I'm just gonna keep talking
Yeah.
and wait for this to happen.
Oh, I
um
wish fucking Mags was in here right now, the bread baking fuck. Ah.
uh but yeah, so the new AP top 10, I feel like, so right now it is Texas at 1, Ohio State, Oregon, which Ohio State and Oregon play each other this week. So I think that'll stay relatively solidified. The loser will probably go to like somewhere between like 4 and 6. Penn State's 4, Georgia 5, Miami 6, Bama 7, Tennessee 8, Ole Miss 9, Clemson is 10. I feel like these, yes, a lot of them have been up high, but I feel like the SEC teams losing and Clemson having a loss as well, like them making up the bottom of the top 10, and then the teams that people like felt good about, but you're not 100% sure, like Miami or Penn State or Oregon, like those kind of teams being up near the top. I feel like in some order, this will get shuffled around, but this 10, I feel confident saying at least like 8 of these teams are going to make the playoff.
I think the playoff. I thought last year would be an awesome year for it to be the first 12-team playoff. I thought that would have been great. I think this year is gonna be fucking awesome. Unless I think it could only be like Ohio State, Georgia, or Alabama, like out of, I guess it could be Texas too. But unless one of those teams just is actually a fucking wagon and that much better than everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
and they just cruise, I think this is going to be, and even if that is the case, we'll still get a bunch of other awesome fucking games. But I think a lot of these teams are very even. Like I don't think Miami's great. I think Clemson might be better than them. I'm a Penn State fan. I don't know that they're the 4th best team in the country. Oregon, I do not think Oregon's the 3rd best team in the country. But I think
Mm-hmm.
all those teams could find themselves in the 12-team playoff. And I think they're all different teams, but they could, like, I guess they're set up differently. They have different strengths and weaknesses, which I think could make for a fucking great 12-team playoff.
So, I mean, of this list right now, you would be missing the Big 12 champion, which whoever it is would go all the way up to
Yeah.
number 4. And then well, I don't know what to call them now. Is it still Group of Five, or now that all the conferences got changed around? But the non Power Five conference champion or Power Four conference champion, I feel like, I mean,
Yeah.
Liberty looks like just like going undefeated and being what everybody thought they were. Like, could definitely be a thing, but Boise State, Ashton Gentry, like kind of sick. I think they could maybe be the number
I
12.
hope it's them. I hope it is, just so that we get to see Ashton Genty like more,
Mm-hmm.
basically. I hope it's Boise State because he's fucking unreal. I'm very excited for the rest of this season to play out. Like, there's this week that, like, this was fucking, hey, I'll do something with my girlfriend this Saturday so I don't have to do it next Saturday. That was
Mm-hmm.
this weekend, and then fucking, it was just chaos.
Yeah,
But this whole season's been fucking awesome so far.
I agree. And the only other thing I was going to say about Boise is it's a quarterback age, and I feel like lots of downfield passing, and I think that running backs in college are a thing that gets like overshadowed because a lot of them don't have as long of NFL careers as like a star receiver or quarterback that you see in college. I feel like running backs and like good, not great defensive players are things that are pretty underrated in college. And I just think it's so sick to see a guy who could just go out there every week and get 200 on the ground. Like, that's so fucking awesome to me.
Yep. Clay Holmes is about to fucking blow this.
Yeah. It
I
it
hope
is
he
almost
does. I want it so bad.
like a really good passing offense of like, yeah, this quarterback, he's going to throw for at least like 150 or like 200, like he's a quarterback, like what really is the floor. And that's the thing with like star running backs. It's like, well, what if, they get bottled up a little bit, or like game flow, like, they could just have like 60 yards and stuff like that. But a guy who's just going to go out there and be like an automatic fucking 150 is so sick.
Yeah. 10.9 yards per carry, I think, so far this year.
Yeah, I
It's
saw
fucking insane.
he had what, 1,000 yards before he hit 100 carries, I think, right? Which that maths, yeah.
Yep.
The one thing I do want to mention that nobody's really tracking. Oh fuck, he got out of it. One thing that I don't think people are tracking is the Pitt Panthers are 5-0, and of course they're ranked now, and they have like a. It's not a hard stretch by like Power Four standards, but it is a stretch of games of like 6 games or so where if you're gonna be a team that makes the playoff, it's games that you win by like a touchdown. And for them, they'll have like 2 blowout wins, they'll have 2 like close wins, and they'll lose like 2 of them. And I don't know what to do with Miami. I feel like they're just like kind of, them and Clemson are on a little bit of a collision course to meet in the ACC
Miami
championship.
wants to lose so bad.
Mm-hmm. And the
They want
committee's
to
kind of
lose so
punishing them.
bad.
Like I mean, I know Georgia obviously like preseason number 1 they lost to Bama, who, I mean, despite a crazy loss, has looked like a wagon this year. And like Georgia's ahead of them, and like Penn State, Miami preseason, if you're like, hey, these teams are both undefeated through 6 weeks or whatever, like I'd probably say Miami belongs ahead of them, just like on paper. But yeah, they are getting
Yeah.
punished for not winning decisively.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to do with them. I think Clemson's the best team in the ACC. Not that that's like a fucking hot take or anything. Um,
Yeah.
they just had they just had a really fucking bad half against a really, really good team.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have all season to figure it out. So I don't know. I think Clemson's probably the best team there. But, Miami's probably got the best player, Cam Ward, the biggest difference maker. So I don't know. I'm excited for whatever fucking week they play.
Yeah,
Because
I
other
actually
than
don't
that,
know if they
like,
play in the regular
I
season.
get Pitt's 5-0. Oh, do they not?
They might. I'm looking up. You can keep talking.
I was gonna say like Pitt's 5-0. Um, Clemson's probably better than we thought they were after they got mollywopped by Georgia. Um, but other than that, the ACC is just kind of meh. It's not it's not great. So I think I'm can Miami and Clemson play in the ACC championship game? Is that possible?
Yeah,
Or do they still have the
I
conferences?
they did away with the conferences. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
looking at their
That's what I
schedule.
thought,
I
but I
think
wasn't sure.
they do not play each other, and I think Miami's hardest game is next week. They play at Louisville. Or sorry, they're on a bye this upcoming week, and then
Yeah.
the week after that they're at Louisville, which they're unranked. Even though I don't think they should have went to unranked. Like they're what 16. They lost to Notre Dame, who was like 15. I don't know. I'm a big
Didn't
like
they lose to SMU?
in between there. Maybe
No, after Notre
no.
Dame.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in between
Yeah, they lost to
The Notre
SMU
Dame
this
and that.
week, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah, right, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. Should we cap it with a little bit of baseball here?
Oh, yeah. I'd love to
All
talk some
right.
baseball. This is the most, like, again, a Pirates fan, so I don't really ever have any baseball to watch come October. I'm just kind of sitting back and enjoying it and like like I never really root for anybody, but I always have teams to root against. Every year I
Mm-hmm.
have someone to root against. This year, Brewers gone. See it, the Yankees are playing right now. Hopefully the Royals pull this one out. Well, I don't really even want to root for the Royals that much, to be completely honest with you, but um, these division series have been fucking awesome as a non-biased bystander, just a viewer. Like the Padres Dodgers series has been fucking electric. The Yankees Royals series kind of feels like it can go five. The Tigers up 2-1 on the Guards right now. That I was not expecting that. Scooble is a fucking monster. That guy is fucking incredible. And the Kerry Carpenter home run and what was it, the eighth or whatever the other day?
Top of the ninth off
I
Class
mean
A.
I feel like these yeah, it was the top of the ninth. I knew it was off
Mm-hmm.
Class A. I forgot if it was the eighth or the ninth. And then like, dude, Tatis does something every fucking night. Like, he's just
He's two
he's
dotting on
been
his
fucking
OPS.
unreal. Yeah, he's unbelievable. Like, I feel like a lot of the superstars, maybe there's like one in the Bronx that's not really playing great, which you hate to see. But a lot of the superstars have showed up. Otani with the big 3-run homer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I watch for. Like in the playoffs, I fucking just love going on and seeing like Tatis, Machado, fucking Otani, like whoever, all the superstars, they just when they show up and hit a fucking big homer or a big knock in a big spot, it's the best that like baseball has. It's
Mm-hmm.
fucking electric, and there's been so much of that this postseason. I've been loving it.
This is so. I don't know if this is the first time that every all four DSs have been 1-1, but today was the first time in the history of Major League Baseball that all four DSs were 1-1 on the same day. But yeah, like you said, the Tigers up 2-1. I got to think Scooble throws game 5, right? I think he threw game 2,
No,
so
he
that would be
might.
normal
I
rest
feel
for him
like
as
he'd
game
have
5.
to if he
Yeah, that's
can.
mhm.
Yeah, if he can, then he's got to.
Yeah, because it's game 2 happens and then off day, game 3, game 4, off day again, and then your fifth day is that game.
Yeah,
So yeah, he would pitch game 5. So they have a chance to either just hit and get to the ALCS with him starting game 1, or you at least have him for game 5 in a hostile. I don't know how hostile Cleveland gets really. Um, but yeah, that's like I feel like when we did our predictions, I was trying to. I even said like I don't understand how Cleveland has been good this year Like it's pitchers. I know it's a pitching factory, but it's a lot of guys that you don't really know. And then the offense, it's like J Ram, and again, like a bunch of guys that you don't really love offensively. But I was trying to put respect on their names. They
Yeah.
fucking blow offensively. A 7-run win in game one, and then 2 shutout losses is bananas.
Yeah, that's bad. That you can't go that cold. No matter how, like, you just can't win when you score 0 runs. You're
Yeah.
just not going to win those games.
Fun fact, that is the only run total you can have and he'd be guaranteed to not win. Is 0.
That's right. And I hate to see it happen to such a fucking beautiful city like Cleveland. It would be a real shame if they got shut out again. I would hate to see that, even though I forget if I picked them to go to the World Series or not, but I would hate to see them just go out like a fucking fart in the wind. That'd be
Mm-hmm.
tough.
Well, I picked the Phillies to win the World Series, so I'm already chalked, so I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, me too. The fucking Tigers, man. They're frisky. The frisky cats.
Yeah, I got a buddy down here that is he's from Michigan. He's a big Tigers fan. He's a big baseball guy, big Tigers fan. And I kind of just want him for his sake. Like if you look at their lineup, it is disgustingly bad, and they just keep winning. They have Matt Vierling's their 3
Yup.
hitter, who the Phillies just traded because it's like we don't want to like this guy. He only hits against lefties for us, and Vierling was always like pretty solid, but yeah, like he couldn't even start on the Phillies, and we're bounced, and he's hitting third on them, and they're a game away from the CS. I
Yeah.
think he's still hitting third at least. That
Yeah,
might have been just against a lefty.
I wouldn't hate to see them come out of the AL. I'd probably prefer to see them, I don't know. I don't know, because I think, like, as far as, like, a stadium atmosphere goes, like, a Yankees Padres with what we got left would be fucking awesome. Like, those crowds, the Padres crowds are fucking electric. Those
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
people, those people show up.
Yep.
So that's kind of why I'm rooting for the Padres now out of the NL, just because I they have the second best rookie in the NL. That's exciting, and they have fucking Fernando Tatis, who's awesome, and that crowd is electric. Dylan Cease is awesome. I think he had a rough start, but I can't remember unless I'm getting that mixed up. But yeah, yeah. But the Tigers, sorry, I just went all over the place. The Tigers, I hope they win the series. I'd love for that to happen. I'd love to see Cleveland get bounced.
Giancarlo
But
Stanton
that's
just
about it.
had
Just
the
because
most.
there's like,
Sorry, he just had the most stolen base of all time, and it's Stanton. It's just funny. Sorry, keep going.
that was insane. I kind of just want the Tigers to move on because, like, indirectly, then like Browns fans are sad. Basically, is what I
Yeah.
got there for that one. That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I need to have happen is, yeah, Guardians Tigers. I don't really care about. I guess I'll root for the Tigers just because like I said, my friend is a fan and fuck Cleveland. This we can kind of pivot to this Yankees Royals series. Like we mentioned before, we've got a good friend on either side of it. We got multiple good friends that are Yankees fans. Um, I think what I want to see here is the Yankees beat the Royals, which is a crazy thing to say, like that I want the Yankees to win a playoff series. But I think I am kind of rooting for that. And then for the Yankees to have everything in front of them facing the 6 seed Tigers and just have like everybody that it's like Glaber and Volpe and fucking like Verdugo, like all these guys who have kind of not really. I mean, I know Glaber's been a little better, but all these guys that have disappointed you all year long, just fucking grounding into double plays all day long against the Tigers, and just like losing in 6 and scoring like 8 total runs. I would love that.
Yeah, I want this series to go 5 because, like you said, we got friends on like both sides of it. I want maximum heartbreak for the losing side. So I want this to go 5. And then whichever fucking team wins, I don't really care. I want them then to have maximum heartbreak against the Tigers in whichever way that may happen. It would be way funnier for the Yankees to lose to the Tigers. So, it'd be so fucking awesome if they just go in and get their fucking shit pushed in by the Tigers. That would make me so happy.
I didn't realize how bad I wanted that until we started talking about this. I want the Yankees to face the Tigers and just fucking completely choke.
Yep. I don't want them to get to the World Series, but if they do, it's gonna feel so good when they lose. I'm gonna fucking, and then Mags is back on the podcast when he's not fucking making bread. And just, I want them all to have like the most heartbreak possible.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I love it.
And the other thing too is I feel like the teams in the AL, it almost like besides the Tigers, it looks like the Guardians are really rolling over in that series. Like I could definitely see them losing in 4. And then like this Yankees Royals series, like both teams have had good moments, but it's like there have been a lot of like, here, you go win the game this half inning, and then they don't. And like I feel like I kind of love the Padres to just roll everybody and win the world. Like I really need them to sweep the Mets, like just for myself, and then I could see them rolling in the World Series too. And
Yeah.
the Padres I have a really interesting relationship with the Padres because when Tatis, I think it was the year that he came in like second or third for the MVP, and they had like this, or sorry, I guess he kind of break out in 2020? Was that the year that he whatever was the year that he like hit the grand slam on the 3-0 count?
He broke out in I think he broke out in a full season. Because that was the Slam Diego, and there were people in the seats because that place was rocking.
Oh,
it might have been 19, maybe.
Yeah, because when that happened, from there, like once they had him, and it's like they've had Machado for a while, and like they go out and get Soto, they give Cronenworth the big deal, they start signing starting pitchers. It was almost like they kind of just like bought their way to like being on the same level as the Dodgers. And I mean, obviously I don't like when the Dodgers do it either, but like it just felt like, you know, this team, you were the Padres for so long, and then all of a sudden they're like very good, and it's like, no, like you guys don't quite deserve like to think that you're World Series like contenders. Like it is like I almost missed rooting for them on the come up before disliking them for being too good because they just anointed themselves.
Yeah.
And then they faced the Phillies when they were both wild card teams. They went to the NLCS, and I was like, oh, the Padres are like definitely like a vibesy team. I was worried. They had Soto too at the time, and like Hader, the back end of the bullpen was really good, and they those like cringy ass dudes put out that rap video, and the Phillies just kind of like rolled them, and that kind of ended it for me. Where like I still didn't really like the Padres, but then like last year they were like very, very disappointing, and to the point where I'm like, I didn't really care about them anymore. And now they're like my knight in shining armor. Like I think they are the only team that can just beat the living shit out of whatever vibes the Mets have going. If there's one team that is just gonna beat Grimace to death with baseball bats, I think it is the Padres.
Yeah, I like the Padres. I like watching them. I like again, I sound like I'm sucking off Tatis, but he's so fucking good and he's so fun to watch. And Machado, I like Machado, and I kind of like what he's been doing this series against the Dodgers. Like, he's got them fucking Dave Roberts bitching after the game because he threw a ball over to their fucking dugout or some whatever the fuck. Like, the Dodgers feel fucking dead. Like, they feel like they have no fucking juice. Aside from Ohtani. Anything I say bad about the Dodgers is aside from Ohtani because he's probably the best player in baseball and he fucking wants it. But they just don't really look like they want it other than that. And, like, they've been the best regular season team in baseball for fucking forever now, but they only have the one World Series in the COVID year.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't like take that away from them, but it's still different. Like, it's not exactly the same. Still a World Series. You went through the playoffs, won every series, whatever. Like, that is what it is, but they feel dead and the Padres feel fucking alive. Like, they feel like a team that's going to make a run. And I'm kind of rooting for them the rest of the way just because I think that would be fucking fun if they did. Like, Tatis, Machado, Merrill, all on the big stage would be fucking awesome. And I think I want whoever wins this series to win the World Series because I don't like the Mets. And I guess if the Dodgers go, like, I don't really want them to win, but I get to watch Ohtani in the World Series, I guess, is fucking cool.
Yeah. So one thing that and I guess this maybe starts to parlay into the Phillies where the I it's a thing that I just kind of thought of and then I fact checked it and I found out that I was actually right. That no, it's not even the bye teams. Since they expanded the playoffs, no division winner in the NL has won a series. I don't remember who was the Central winner last year, but the Phillies beat the Cardinals. Was it the Brewers? Because it wasn't the Cubs.
I think it was the Brewers. No, it wasn't the Cubs. I think it was the Brewers.
Yeah,
because it wasn't the Pirates.
Right. So yeah, it was who? Oh yeah, it was the Brewers because they lost the D-backs. Yeah. So like last year,
Yeah.
Or sorry, the first year of the new playoffs. That's when the Phillies were the 6th seed and went to the World Series. So they beat the Cardinals. Then they beat the Braves, and then like I was saying, the Padres beat the Dodgers. So that's all 3 division winners down. Last year, Dodgers lose to the Diamondbacks. Braves lost to the Phillies again, and then obviously the Brewers lost to the D-backs on their way there. So then this year, Brewers lose to the Mets. Phillies have now lost to the Mets, and the Padres are a game away from beating the Dodgers. And this was like kind of brought up a little bit in our group chat today of like somebody's like, so are like who's breaking out the like it's bad to get a bye excuses, which I've always been against that argument. I just don't get it. Like you don't even have to win in order to get to the next round. And I get the momentum is a thing, but I feel like what it comes down to is that first of all, people just don't respect the fact that the wildcard teams aren't that far away in talent from the bye teams. Like, yeah, the Dodgers had the best record in the league. Yeah, the Phillies had the best record in the league for like very long stretches of this season. But the Dodgers and Padres right now, the Dodgers finished 5 games ahead of them. And over 162 games, they've won 3% more games. That's almost like the same, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like they're both so high level. I think what it really comes down to, and this is a gut feeling thing that I feel like checks out so often, it's who gets scared of who first. And I think that's why, like, maybe getting scared is like the wrong word, but tightening up or like realizing you have more to lose than the other team or you have more expectations than the other team, you just play tighter. And it's like in the Phillies and Mets series, every time that we gave up a run, it felt so backbreaking because it's like, I can't believe like not only are they hanging around the series, but they're kind of like they're winning it. They do end up winning it. And I think the Guardians are scared of the Tigers right now. This Royals-Yankees series, I still think Yankees fans think they're above the Royals, which they're not, but for their mentality, that's actually a good thing because I don't think they're scared of the Royals. But the Phillies, I will say, they felt like they were playing scared as shit against the Mets. Like I said, it felt like every small thing was the end of the world. And it's exactly how I feel like the Braves felt against us the last 2 years. Of like the first time it was like, we're so much better than the Phillies. And we just mashed our way to beating them. And they kind of got like shell shock. And then last year, it was like they were better than us again, but it was in the back of their minds, and it's like as soon as it started happening again, like they're like, oh my god, like how the fuck is this possible? And I feel like that's how the Dodgers feel with the Padres. Of they got beat by little brother the Padres last year. It was like the Diamondbacks might be the worst team to appear in the World Series in a while, and they got smoked by the Diamondbacks last year. And now it's happening again where the Padres are like it's Slam Diego again, and it's just like it's right up their ass, and they have no answer again. It's crazy.
I don't. I think I agree with that, and I don't necessarily like if my team got the bye, I would want to have the bye. Because you get to line up your pitching. Like it's 162 games. It's a fucking long season. You get a little rest, kind of get back to 100% because everyone's hurting by the end of the year. Um, I think it's like you said, it's the mentality of those every single one of the teams the wild card teams, they've just won a series. They're fucking feeling themselves. They're confident and they have nothing to lose because they're never the favorite. Because like you said, like the Mets and Padres were going up against the teams with the two most wins in baseball. Like if they lose, they were expected to lose, but they go in fucking loose. They've just won a series. Um and they're just playing good ball. They're both those two teams are both hot. And I don't think it's bad to have the bye. I'd prefer to have the bye, but it's like you're right. The teams that have the bye feel fucking tight. Like the Dodgers and the Phillies kind of felt like they had no juice. Like it was just they felt tight. The Dodgers feel like a team that's fucking tight right now. So I think there's something to that. At the end of the day, I'd rather have the bye, but it's just part of baseball being a fucking weird sport. Things like that happen.
Yeah, yeah. So last series we haven't talked about. We can close the show with this one. Um, Phillies and Mets. So this is the first time in the short history of this show that one of our teams has lost in the playoffs, and I'm going to set a good example here. I'll take it on the chin. Um, Not that like Eric's ever going to have to worry about this, or I think the Steelers are much more live to make the playoffs than the Dolphins over the next however long. The Dolphins suck, but
It's going to be a bad podcast when the Steelers season's over.
yeah. I'll do a little moratorium here, and then I guess if you want to do some follow ups and poke the bear after, that's fine. I don't have anything prepared because I didn't know if we were gonna win or not. To be honest, I felt all day. I had some dread. I just felt like we were going to lose. And so, like I said, because I don't have anything prepared, I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't have any like spin zones or like gotcha stats or anything prepared. I'm just gonna start talking about the team and say what I think, pretty much. So I think the first thing to start with is, and it kind of bounces off the point that I was just making, is the Phillies are 100% a more talented team than the Mets. Like on paper, it's a lot more guys that you'd rather have on your roster on the Phillies than the Mets, right? That said, I hate Mets fans, so I'm not talking to the fans. It's still fuck the Mets fans. But the Mets players, like, all you can do is tip your cap because the Phillies know this well, that there's something to being worse on paper, but kind of like coming together as a team to like maximize what you have. The Mets they got very good at that, it's the kind of wild card underdog magic that is, definitely a thing in baseball. Um, and the other thing too is like, yeah, the Phillies, they won the division. They had the best record in the league for long stretches. But they also built up that lead very early in the season. Like they were like 20 games over 500 in like June. Like they came out of the gates fucking sprinting. And the Mets and the Braves too kind of just like slowly closed that gap. Like just progressively got a little bit closer and closer over the season. And like if you're doing your math correctly, if you're gaining games in the race, you're having a better record. You are like playing like a better team. So like the Mets played better than the Phillies for long stretches, and I think that having that lead, like again, I'm not doing the, it's bad to be the higher seed or it's bad to be leading the division. Like I'm not doing that thing, but I think their style of play got a little fucked up there where the last 2 years I have had, so not counting this year, the 2 previous years, and really the seasons before that too, before the Phillies were on like the World Series contending level, I had so many just random like June weeknights and shit like that where I felt like my life was ending because they were in like a barn burner and the bullpen is both fighting hard and giving up their fucking cheeks at the same time. And it was just like, it was torturous. And this year, like there were so many times where we go down, let's say like 4-0 after 3 innings, and we would just phone it the fuck in. And it's like, I don't know, we're leading the division by 12 games. Who the fuck cares? And there were very few times that we fought hard on a day-to-day basis, and we dicked around a lot with platoons, and we let Taiwan Walker pitch way too many fucking games. I told my dad that I think he was like, what did we do to piss off the baseball gods? And I said, I think we made them watch Taiwan Walker pitch for like 140 innings. I think is the problem. But and yeah, I mean, we had guys like Bohm and Turner, and like even Harper was hurt, but like we had a lot of guys who were a lot better in the first half than they were in the second half. Brandon Marsh falls into that as well, and Ranger Suarez. And I think just the main point is like, and I've held it together well because I had an absolute meltdown during game one when we lost. And game two, I was freaking the fuck out in a good way when we came back and won. But yesterday, it felt like all the air came out. And so I feel like I've kind of been, it's loser mentality, I know, but I've been kind of thinking all day almost that the series was over. And like, it's a deeply flawed team that the manager has done nothing to address the flaws. He's a huge like if the team isn't playing well, he's like, well, they're too talented for this to not turn around, so I will not change anything. And there was a lot of like 3-game losing streaks that then you wake up like 2 weeks later and it's like, oh shit, we've won 3 of our last like 12. And that happens. It's already a streaky team. And I feel like that mindset, like it feeds into it. We had a lot of like really good bench guys. We had some guys come up from the minors and make impacts. And but the mix wasn't really there. He would just be like, oh, this guy, for like Weston Wilson, right? Or like Cody Clemens, like these are guys that started the year in AAA. Oh, they're pretty good. Well, Weston Wilson's a righty, so let's just start him against lefties for like a week, or like he'll pinch hit for Brandon Marsh anytime like a lefty's on the bump late, and that'll just be it. But there's no like, let's work him into the lineup for like like let's give him the nod 2 times in this series or some shit like that. Like there's no mixing it up. He's just like, oh, I see this guy hits from this side. I will now make a rule where he only hits that hand of the ball. And there's like 5 dudes who start no matter what, or it's 6 guys, I guess, who start lefty righty no matter what. And so I think the fact of the matter is the Phillies were vulnerable. They were not playing their best baseball at all. They actually, like, even if we wanted to make the excuse of like we had the bye and we lost momentum or whatever, we can't even make that argument because we were so bad to end the season that I was praying we hung on to the bye so that it's like, hey, we don't have to play our way out of this. We could just maybe the mojo will flip after we get a week off. Like I was just hoping for that, and like we weren't playing well. The Mets were playing well, and they peaked at the right time and they embarrassed us, and that's kind of the situation, and I'm upset.
So I don't watch a lot of Phillies regular season baseball. Maybe I'll catch like a Sunday night baseball or something, but because I'm usually, pretty locked into the Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
But in the postseason, you probably know this, because whatever. I feel like every fucking time Rob Thompson comes out and fucking does that,
It's
they
the
give
wrong
up
decision.
3 runs immediately after he makes that. It's the wrong one every time. Like, things that come to mind. Fucking today, the grand slam off Estevez. The Alvarado gave up the 3-run bomb to fucking
Jordan in the
what's his
World
fucking
Series. Is that what
name?
you're talking about?
Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And I feel like I can't think of who exactly he put in off the top of my head, but I feel like it happened 2 or 3 times just in this series. Like he pushes a button, the Mets score a run.
Yeah. I mean, so
Which has got to
there's
be
two.
frustrating because
Good.
there's only so much a manager can do. Like the player has to make the pitches and all that shit, but when it keeps fucking happening, like
Yeah.
every
So
fucking year. And there's one in the Diamondback series last year I'm missing too, but I feel like it happened, but I can't remember it.
yeah, it's
Who it was or
the
whatever.
Alec Thomas home run is what you're thinking of
Yeah. Yep.
in game
Yep.
6, I believe. Or sorry, that might have been
Yeah.
like game 4 or something. But yeah, so there are two sides to that. I've been a big Rob hater, and I like part of it is, yeah, like the players just have to play well. And this bullpen was absolutely insane all year. This is by far the best bullpen that we've had pretty much like since I think it's even better than like the '08 to like 11 teams. Like this pen, like we had 2 all-stars, and Estevez was an all-star too, but he wasn't on the Phillies at that point. Um and we had a lot of other guys who were like sub 3, just fucking nails. And yeah, Wheeler gave you 7 shutout in game 1. I didn't think that Hoffman and Strom were going to get the fucking doors blown off them in just one inning, but that happens. Like I don't know. I think there's two sides to that where yeah, those guys you'd expect to not give up those runs, but also like if so Rob, he kind of played around with the bottom of the lineup a little bit, which I respect because he is complacent a lot, but it's like just kind of do your research. Like yesterday, Manaya is a huge. He throws sinkers like half his fucking pitches are sinkers, and he's a lefty. And Weston Wilson hits lefties well, and he's hitting like 380 against sinkers this year. And Weston Wilson doesn't get the start yesterday. Then today, it's Quintana, it's soft stuff out of the zone. That's when Weston Wilson gets the start. It's like, what the fuck? And also like with starting Sosa um in place of Stott, yeah, it's lefty righty. This is game 3 I'm talking about. It is lefty righty, but at the same time, like Stott had a 2-run triple in a game that you won by 1 run. So there's something to like just riding the hot hand in those situations as well. And yeah, it's Rob Thompson is a big like pushing all the wrong buttons guy. Like today, he let Ranger ride a couple times, and Ranger was walking the absolute tightrope. I think he got into bases loaded both of the first 2 innings for sure. I think he might have again, or maybe it was just first and second, but he was in jams all night, and he was in a part of the order that did not have success against him. They pull him out. Hoffman comes in to face Alonso, and and just Alonso, Iglesias, and that middle part of the order. And he gets out of it, and it's like, okay, he finished the inning. He's probably going to start the next inning because they were a little righty heavy today. But then like the next inning, the Mets had 2 pitching changes in the middle of the next inning. He was sitting down for like 20 minutes, and I was like, you just gotta like you have righties out the ass in the pen. That like you have 3 guys like Ruiz. I don't love, but you have Kerkering and you have Estevez that you can pitch later. So like you have no shortage of righties. He's already said that Sanchez was available for tonight. So there's no shortage of arms. You can to pitch the next 4 innings, you have guys. And I just don't see the logic in sending him back out there. Then he like gives up a single, okay, whatever. Then he hits a guy. He's got to come out of the game at that point. And then he leaves him in, walks another guy, and then it's like all of a sudden it's bases loaded, no outs, and yeah, Estevez came in, he fucking hummed one right down the middle to Lindor, but Lindor was also very late on the fucking 100 that he was throwing, and he just missed a spot. I don't hate throwing a fastball there, but yeah, it's all the wrong buttons, Rob.
Yeah.
That's what he is. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you want to come be a Pirates fan, you'll never get your heart broken in October because it usually happens in July. So
that was my thing. Was before the season this year, I like declared I was like I'm gonna be a Pirates fan. Like I'm gonna watch Pirates games and stuff. But the Phillies just came out so hot that I was like, I need all of my baseball focus to be on how sick the Phillies are right now. And I kind of fell off on that, but
yeah,
I might get back on the wagon where like I don't know if it's if it's gonna be, you know, just like another team that if the Phillies lose, I could at least be happy the Pirates win. Or if Pirates also lose on the night that the Phillies lose, I could be like, well, at least like we're not this bad. But I don't know. There's a lot of big contracts. There's not a lot that you can change about the roster. And yeah, I'm thinking about potentially doing. I made a TikTok filter, or I did a video of a TikTok filter the other day that kind of went off. So maybe I'm thinking about maybe doing just ripping through some specific Phillies that I have gripes with and just making like a 10-minute video and just shitting on as many guys as I can and take no prisoners.
I would. I'd kill somebody for an unmovable contract on my baseball team right now.
You want Trey Turner?
You know, it's fucking. I'll take him. I'll take him. Fucking spend nothing, win nothing. Sell the fucking team, Bob. Fucking pussy.
You can have a Taiwan Walker. He's owed $36 million over the next 2 years, fully guaranteed.
That one, you can keep that one. That one, I'm not sure I need that one.
4 years, $72 million, 100% of it guaranteed. Isn't that crazy?
We got fucking Bailey Falter for that, but he's not getting paid anything. But we have our shitty starter.
Your shitty Philly starter.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
All right. Well.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go be sad. I have a lot of unopened texts right now. My phone's just been. It's people like it's. I mean, I'm in a Phillies group chat. It's just people trying to talk about it, and I'm like, it fucking sucks.
Just can't.
I can't talk about it other than the fact
I'm
that
sure the
Mets
Seahawks guy has something for you on Twitter. I'm sure.
Oh, let's look and see if he's got anything. He has to, right? He's got to.
He's got to. He's got to have something for you. He
doesn't. Oh yeah, he did. He said, "Get fucked." 35.
Really?
Yeah, this dude.
Oh shit.
We were going back and forth like fine. After like game 2, and then like game 3, I wasn't really getting the notifications because I had my actual Twitter open, and then I saw afterwards that he like said all this shit, and like one of them he called me a bum, and then I was like, he said something about like the podcast. I was like, oh yeah, thanks for the support, and he deleted the tweet where he called me a bum, and he was like, "Oh, that was personal, like that was outside of the scope." And I was like, "Dude, this is Twitter reply guy shit. Like, you could tell me to fucking kill myself, and I don't think it's over the line."
Yeah, it's all fair. It's all fair.
Yeah,
If that
but anyway,
Padres fan that thought that Merrill should win the Rookie of the Year over Skeens, I
yeah,
was arguing with him like a few weeks ago. If he told me to kill myself, I'd be like, "That's fine. I'll die
yeah.
correct about that one." He can kill himself too. Hopefully, he does it after Paul Skeens wins Rookie of the Year, so you can know he was fucking wrong. But that's about it.
Yeah,
That's all I got.
he's definitely not going to kill himself until after the award comes out because the Padres are still alive. That's a thing. Actually, you're
That
rooting
is true.
for that guy right now. That's a problem.
I am. I am. It's okay. He can be wrong and also his team be good. He's just wrong about this.
Yeah.
That's all. Waiting for that plus 700 to pay out. That's fucking huge.
Yeah. I almost bet on the Phillies to win the World Series plus 850 today. I'm glad I didn't waste a little spot on that. Um all right, see, I'm learning. I'm learning to manage the bankroll. All right, well,
One step at a time.
yeah, the road to recovery. All right, well, that's gonna do it. Ran a little long, but we're in the thick of baseball, so what can you really do? Um, but yeah, if you're listening to the audio or the YouTube, just try the other one out maybe for a change. The audio does way better than the YouTube, I will say. So maybe just try looking at our little faces for a little bit. Um, but yeah, however you're listening, we appreciate it, and we will see you all next time.